So welcome back, everyone. I'd ask you to be seated, and we'll continue on with our program for the afternoon. I trust it's going to be a little quieter this afternoon after everybody had a nice salmon meal. I think we should give thanks and show some gratitude to our cooks, Jean Martin, Donna Wiseau, Patsy Gregg. Once again, ladies, thank you very much for feeding the community. So they've got a well-run system, our elders, the Elders Lodge, and I think our chief and council did a tremendous job too of serving the community. Everybody was fed within like 10 minutes, so great job, chief and council. Before we get to the formal inauguration with our Commissioner of Oaths, I'd like to express a comment on the campaign. We all get very involved in election campaigns in our community, and we benefit from about an 85% voter turnout, which is unheard of anywhere else. So we really get involved, we really take part, and we let our voice be heard in selecting our leaders. This year's campaign was different in many respects. We were mourning the loss of many community members, and our candidates stepped up to the plate and pulled back on the campaign activities out of respect for those families. It was also a very clean and very positive campaign, and I'd like to give a shout out not just to those who are successful, but to all candidates who demonstrated that level of respect and positivity and promoting community wellness. Big round of applause to everybody who ran for council. So I thought it would be fun for us to get to know our council a little bit before we get into inauguration. So I put together some very non-scientific fun facts about council. Wendell's worried. Wendell should be worried. So starting with their ages. So just taking a snapshot of who is before you, your new chief and council. The range in ages starts at age 33, the youngest councillor, and the oldest councillors are 56. I'll let you guess who those are.
57, couple of weeks.
Wendell says he'll be 57 in a couple of weeks. So we also have some birthdays that share their dates on national holidays. We have Wendell, whose birthday is on Saint Jean-Baptiste Day. We have Darcy, his birthday on Canada Day. And we have Gordon, whose birthday is on Christmas Day, Christmas baby. So amongst our council, and I'm not going to give away anybody's age, don't worry, we have 2 councillors born in the 50s. We have 6, so half of our council was born in the 60s. We have 3 councillors who were born in the 70s, and 2 80s babies. Wow. So we looked at the average age of council, and we do have a young council. The average age is 46.3 years. Now, in terms of experience in politics, we have 9 seasoned politicians. But I was teasing Gordon earlier. Gordon, very good friend of mine. I said, I thought about introducing him as a salty politician, but I stuck to seasoned, so just take that stick at Gordon. So we have 9 seasoned politicians bringing to us a great wealth of experience dealing with many files. But we also have 4 newbies. So we have 4 fresh faces bringing new energy, new ideas, and enthusiasm to our council. I think we've got a great balance here. In looking at years of experience, we had a hard time attaching the number of years to all of them. So we took our 2 oldest councillors, who shall remain nameless, and between Calvin and Wendell, we put together 40 years of council experience. That's a lot of years. A lot of years. Thank you for your service. Mi'kmaq speakers, we heard throughout the campaign an emphasis on bringing back our language and strengthening it and promoting it. We have 4 speakers on council. A challenge to the rest. Get busy. Of the 12 councillors, we have 4 women, and we have lots of education on our council. We have a PhD, we have master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and college diplomas. We're looking good, Listugush. We're looking forward. And finally, we have lots of talent. I was looking for singing talent. I was asking if anybody played instruments, and other than the spoons, nobody stepped forward. I think they thought I might call them up and ask them to sing. But we do have lots of talent. Amongst our council, we have a speech therapist, a communications director, a shelter director, a store owner, ambassador, Wenzel Metallic. We have a carpenter, facility manager, cultural facilitator, an engineer. We have student support worker, an education director, and a public works manager. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. What a talented bunch. So now we're going to do the swearing in 2 parts. We're going to swear in the 12 councillors all at the same time, and then one by one they'll go to sign. So a family, you want to line up for photo ops, and we'll start this way with Wendell. And then we'll do the swearing in for Chief Darcy separately. So I'd ask only the councillors to stand right now. Kevin Bixie in the house. All of yous together. Kevin Bixie in the house. It's not like Kevin to miss this. Okay, we're going to wait for Kevin. He's coming with coffee for everybody. No pressure. Have a seat while we wait. So while we wait, I have a little story about Wendell. So it's a good story. Wendell's wearing a vest that Claudia made for him in 1992. So was that the first time you were elected, Wendell? First time he was elected, and you see it still fits. It's a little tight. But he said June had did some minor alterations, some beadwork, loosen it up. Good job, June. And Claudia, we can always count on Claudia. You can call Claudia at the last minute and she'll come through for you. So I want to talk a little bit about Darcy's headpiece. So Claudia made this week, and she spoke very eloquently about what had inspired her. So it's made of 4 materials. It's birch bark, sweet grass, porcupine quill, and eagle feather. So if you notice the elaborate design, the quill work in the front, she said she dyed the quills blue, and in it there's a teepee with a little baby for a new day. On top of the quills, there are 3 eagle feathers made from porcupine quill, and the one on the right, is to symbolize a baby eagle, what Claudia called an eaglet. And then the eagle feather in the middle was where Darcy is at in his life now. And then the white eagle feather on the left is the elder, representing the elderly. And on the top, it's replicated, that pattern of the 3 eagle feathers into real eagle feathers. I think that's amazing. Claudia, you just have amazing talent. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm going to start telling jokes soon. And you probably all heard them before. Why did the cat join the Red Cross? Because she wanted to be the first aid kit. Get it? Kit? Kitten? Glad Floyd's not here. He would have bombed me with his drums. Kevin is in the house. Thank you for joining us, Kevin. Kevin, I promised you'd bring coffee for everybody. Okay? Roland, ready to get started? Start with Wendell and we'll go to the round table and sign with the Commissioner of Oaths. Claudia has also made each councillor a feather from copper, hand-painted with their name on it and leather. Just so much talent. Another shout out, Claudia, thank you. Calling up Councillor Lorna Sook. Superman left us in the dark for a minute. Councillor Gordon Isaac. Councillor Sheila Swanson. Chief Councillor Kathy Martin. Councillor John Mervyn Vicaire. Councillor Lloyd Alcon. Councillor Sky Metallic. Councillor Calvin Barnaby. Councillor Chris Wiseau. Councillor Kevin Mattot. So that completes the swearing in of your 12 councillors. Now I'd like to call Chief Darcy Gray to the podium to read his oath.
Darcy Gray, solemnly swear that I will truthfully and faithfully respect and honor the duties, responsibility, and obligations given to me by the people of Listuguj. I swear to the utmost of my ability to maintain the laws, customs, and practices of our people, the Listuguj Mi'kmaq of Gespegawagi.
So before we hear from our new chief, I'd like to call up Christine Gwen to make a presentation.
Good afternoon. I have an Eagle staff that was given to me about 6 years ago. A fellow by the name of Danny Stevens from Truro. He agreed to go and make an Eagle staff for our community. And the stick is made from beaver, and the medicine that's on it is the eagle feathers, as well as the sweetgrass, bear hide, and offered him tobacco. And when I told him that I wanted something to help us in our community because we were having a hard time, he says that he would go out and make the stick for us and the staff for us. Well, I've been holding on to it for about 6 years now. We've been just waiting for the right chief to come in, the right councillors to come in. And we're moving into the direction of traditional ways and our culture and being proud of who we are. But we also have a lot of healing to do. And I asked, and I offered this to Chief Darcy Gray to hold this, to use it in his council meetings, to use it in celebrations and gatherings, and to help us to move towards the healing that we need in our community, and not to be ashamed of the medicines that we have and that we need to start using them. So I've been sitting in the back with my mom thinking about this. Is it time to let this staff go to the community? And it is time. So I went and picked it up because I really truly believe we need to start healing. We need to start having discussions. We need to stop arguing and fighting with one another. And you know, if you asked me when I was 19 or 20, the powers of prayers, well, I wouldn't be the first one to pray, but I'm in the 56 age range, and I do believe in the power of prayer, and I do believe in our culture and our medicines. So I offer you, Darcy, with love and understanding and hope for healing for our community. Well, Ollie.
My turn? My turn now, I guess. Hold on here. In all honesty, the last few days have been a whirlwind. A lot has changed, and a lot can change in a week, it seems. Today's commemoration reminds us of the strength and resilience of our community, and it serves as a day to pass on the teachings of our history and our culture as a community. And I think it's a significant day for having this as well. Because as Christine mentioned, there seems to be this perspective or this view of a passing of the torch or a shift towards a different perspective. And hopefully that is true, because that's what I'm working for. It also serves as a nice segue into the inauguration and a little story that I'd like to share with you. So this past week, I was coming back from Carleton University. I went down there on Tuesday shortly after receiving the news and finding out about the new responsibilities that have been bestowed upon me by the community. And anyway, we went down for the graduation and we were driving back, and my wife was driving, and this was the second time she had driven for many, many, many hours, while I was sitting there with my head down texting, responding to emails, doing all these chiefly things, trying to get in touch with everybody and get things organized. And I was sitting there, I'm like, and I kept looking over to her and saying, you know, I owe you so much, babe. I owe you so much. Thank you for this. And she said, don't worry about it. You just do what you need to do. Then along the way, we had found out that, on my way up to Ottawa, we had found out that while I was coming back, there was going to be this special ceremony for our police officers, where they would be receiving service medals. And my cousin Trapper says to me, it'd be really, really nice if you could be there. I'd be really honored. And I said, well, I'd be really honored to be a part of it. So to be a part of it required a lot of coordination. It took my parents also making the trip to Carleton and for my graduation. My dad telling everybody I wouldn't have done it any different. I wanted to be there to support my son. So on the way back, they offered to take our two of our kids that were with us back home, continue home and get them to bed on time while Karen and I stayed behind so that we could be part of this honoring ceremony. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was nice to be a part of. The things that I have experienced in this very, very short time of since being elected chief are tremendous and amazing and very humbling. But the point of my story is to say that to attend these events and to do the things that I've done is not something I've done alone. It's not something I would have been able to do myself. It took coordination and it took family. It took everybody working together. Being elected as chief for this community is also something that took us working together. As much as I wanted to do it, I couldn't have done it alone. It took many, many, many others to believe in me and support me. And I thank you for that. Leading this community will also require cooperation and working together as council. Christine, I think it was perfect. Your words, you know, that the fighting, the arguing has gone on for far too long within our community. It is certainly a time to heal. And my own experience is that life is a series of moments. And it's in those moments, what you decide to do, that makes us who we are. I'm happy that the community has had enough faith in me to make this that moment where we have an opportunity as a community to grow, heal, and change for the future. Thank you so much. Walali Okum Sitwen. I accept your challenge and I'm going to work at it.
Your new chief and council.
And I have
Did
to present some flowers,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I'll give it full roll. So we have a little tradition when we have inauguration to involve the family of the chief, and specifically the spouse of the chief, in this case, Karen. We want to let you know that there are many busy days ahead for Chief Darcy. We're going to borrow him. He'll be traveling a lot and listening to our concerns a lot. So we have a little gift for you, and I'll let Chief Darcy present that.
I'd also like Phoenix and Sarah to come up. This is something that you guys have taken on as well. It's not just Karen, it's the whole family. So thank you very much for that.